Alright, hello everybody, Zaxtor99 here with a video I meant to put out at least a couple weeks ago, but I am late and I apologize. In this video, we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at my top indie game for 2018. Now, my video here is going to be a lot different than a lot of the other best games of 2018 that you've probably seen, in the fact that I typically review lesser known indie games on Steam, and a lot of times these are budget games that you can get for under $10. So pretty much every game on my Zaxtor's Indie Gold list during the year 2018 was under $10 except for one, and that was Parkosaurus. I believe that was a $20 title. Now, I did score all these games. All of them got a score of 93% or higher to make my Zaxtor's Indie Gold. So we have 13 games that made this list in the year 2018. Now remember, I didn't start my Zaxtor's Indie Gold series until I believe March or so. So we have 4 titles here that made it 93% or higher, but that was before my Zaxtor's Indie Gold was created. So all these games are essentially Zaxtor's Indie Gold, 13 titles. We start with Arena 3D. This is like a really fast action, really beautiful kind of a 3D shooter, but it has 3 different modes. It has like a cube-shaped Pac-Man type game where you're in a maze and you're running from enemies. If you loved Super Stardust HD on the PS3 or PS4 or Geometry Wars, you're definitely going to want to check out Arena 3D. However, Arena 3D, while being a great game, did not do well enough to make one of my top 3 selections for 2018. Tanks Meet Zombies was a great, super fun game that I played in early 2018, and it was a blast. I believe this game scored a 93 or a 94, but it is a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than it looks like, and you can see here in this video, I played the game for nearly an hour and a half and had a blast playing it, but the score wasn't quite high enough, and I haven't replayed the game enough over the year 2018 to warrant it making a top 3 list. Brickfest. Brickfest was a game when I first saw it on Steam. I'm like, wow, this looks really good. It was a $5 title, and it was a brick breaker game, much like one of my favorite all-time brick breakers of all time in Shatter. Now, Shatter, years ago, I believe back in 2015, scored a 94% from me when I reviewed it. Shatter comes in, I believe, a $9.99 price tag, and Brickfest would definitely have to be a quality game to beat that score, as many Brick Breaker games have launched on Steam in prior years, and none of them have gotten that close to beating Shatter's score of 94%. And Brickfest did beat Shatter with a whopping 95% score. Alright guys, so when you launch Brickfest, this is the screen you will be brought up to, at least right now, in early 2019. So one thing I really like about Brickfest is it does have a level editor, so you can come in here and you can place bricks wherever you want, and you can make up, you can color the bricks whatever color you want. You can come in here and place blue bricks, you can place green bricks, and you can come in here and, create your own levels. You can clear levels, and you can submit these levels for other people to play. You can choose a type down here, bomb, wall, base value for all your points. You can choose power-ups, all these different things. This game just really has a ton of features, and I really like this game. It's an independent developer that did make the game. So with your level editor, you also have the ability to set your settings, your full screen off or on, your sensitivity can be set, music and effects can both be set. And then you can either go into your levels, or you can play a persistent kind of an endless mode. Now, into your levels, you do have the ability to choose all these different levels here that are kind of unusual levels. You can play the levels that spell out the word Brickfest, as you can see right there. Or you can simply play fruits, where all the bricks are shaped like all these different fruits. So you have a lot of different levels to play through, that are already set up for you as default levels. Or you can go, like I said, and set up your own levels to whatever you want. But when we click play all, we're going to go ahead and jump in here. And I want to show you why I love Brickfest so much. The quality of the sound effects in this game is amazing. One thing I really love is the smoothness and responsiveness of your mouse. So you control everything with the mouse. You start with 3 lives over at the left-hand side, and you click your left mouse button to spawn a ball. The control you have over the ball in Brickfest is like no other brick game I think I've ever played. Like, it is super smooth, super fluid controls, and you have all these different power-ups. That was the speed up power-up that speeds up your ball to speed the action up a little bit. That slowed us back down, but there are all kinds of different power-ups. The green things in the middle, or the turquoise objects in the middle, will not break, but they do reflect your ball randomly, and they kind of create an obstacle, if you would, in this game. But Brickfest, guys, I can't begin to tell you how much fun this game is. I played this game like 10 hours over the past year since I bought it. I actually bought it back in May, and to play this game 10 hours for a brick game is pretty amazing. Consider the number of brick games that actually came out. Now, the red power-ups are going to be bad, so you want to watch those carefully, because that one just made me smaller. And size does matter in these brick games, because you want your paddle to be bigger, because it makes it easier to hit that ball. As you just saw, I missed that. But yeah, the fluid controls in this game, the quality of the sounds, the quality of the explosions, and everything just oozes quality in Brickfest. Again, it was this independent developer's first game. He made this game with the Godot engine, and when I graded this game back in May when it launched, I gave it a 95%. It beat Shatter, my old score of 94% from years ago, by 1 percentage point. And I think this game, after playing this game for about 10 hours or more over the past 6 or 8 months, this game definitely deserves the 95% I gave it. It is a beautifully made brick breaker game, and I believe this is the best brick breaker game I have ever played in my life. It's just that good. So if you guys like brick breaker games, then definitely check this game out. It is my 3rd highest rated indie game, and I'm giving it my number 3 award for 2018 as far as budget indie games on Steam. Definitely check it out if you haven't, if you haven't ever seen it or heard of it. Definitely worth your time. So let's go ahead, guys, and let's move on. Slice, guys, is a game that offers you 100 levels of indie puzzle, gaming goodness for just 99 cents. It's a hell of a deal and a hell of a fun puzzle game, an indie puzzle game. And I think you're sure to like this one. A short video here. Definitely check that game out. But it did not score well enough to make my top 3 list. Moving up my list, my first Zaxtor's Indie Gold game was a winner. And this was, again, I believe this is developer's first game on Steam in Meteorite Defense Command. It's an amazing remake of the old school Missile Command. And this game plays beautifully. It's a lot of fun to play. It offers a ton of challenge. And I believe it comes in at only $1.99. An amazing remake of Missile Command from old school. So if you used to love Missile Command, you definitely owe it to yourself to check out this budget indie game called Meteorite Defense Command. So definitely check that one out. I will have the link to this 2018 Best Indie Gem Games of 2018. I'll have a link to this entire playlist down below, so definitely check it out if you want to check out any of these videos. The next game I played was In Line. This is a casual shape game. It's a lot of fun. It is a game that I believe scored a 93%. It comes in at $5. Not quite good enough to make my top 3, but definitely a game worth checking out. All right, and my number 7 game on my Zaxtor's Indie Gold list for the year 2018 is a great minimalist action game called Ding Dong. This one comes from an independent developer, Nickervision, and I pretty much love all of his games. All of his games are like 99 cents, and all of them are a hell of a lot of fun. But Ding Dong, which came out, I believe, in June of 2018, was my favorite Nickervision game yet. Don't let the name fool you. Ding Dong is a one-button game where you simply bounce a ball up and down as blocks fly from your left and right, and you're trying to get the ball basically across the screen, or above, back and forth, up and down across the screen without hitting any blocks, unless you collect a power-up that allows you to smash your ball through the blocks. It is a hell of a lot of fun, and Ding Dong is going to make my honorable mention game for 2018. It is an amazing game, and it is a brilliant game for under $1. Be sure you check that one out. My number 6 game on my Zaxtor's Indigo list is a game called Parkosaurus. Now, this is a theme park game. If you like Roller Coaster Tycoon or any games like that, SimCity, you're probably going to love Parkosaurus, especially if you love dinosaurs. However, this game came in at a little too high of a price tag to make really my budget indie game list. I believe it scored a 95% on my scoring, but it is a fine game. And if you love, theme park games where you can build your own park and set prices for your tickets and, set up booths to make money and stuff like that, you're probably going to love Parkosaurus. You can set up all the different kinds of dinosaurs and different cages. It's a lot of fun, especially if you love those strategic single-player theme park type games. This game does rock. Comes in at a price tag of $19.99, but it did not make my top 3 list. Number 5, my 500th indie game review was a winner. It was a game, it's an RPG game that has very unique spell casting. It's an action game where you move around a city and you have monsters to destroy and quests to complete. It's called Superior Wizards, and it is a winner. It doesn't have the best graphics, but again, another one of those games that just goes to show you that graphics don't mean much, and gameplay and fun are what's important in a game. Definitely check out Superior Wizards, a game that you can score for under $4 on Steam, and this game is a hell of a lot of fun, but it didn't do quite well enough to make my top 3 selections of the year. My number 4 game on my best indie games of 2018 list is a game called Swarm Lake. Now, this is a massively popular game on Steam, probably because of its initial 99-cent price tag. It is a super fast 3D action game where you are busy just basically trying to shoot balls that are swarming all around you. It's like a massive swarm of 1 billion balls flying around. You shoot them, and then they spawn little gold like glitter, and you run around and collect these little jewels and score points. It's a high octane, super fast, super responsive game that'll have you playing again and again. Swarm Lake did not make my top 3 list, but definitely a game worth checking out if you like high octane budget indie games that just ooze quality. Number 3 on the list, and remember, this list is based on when I played it, so the games at the top of the list are my most recent games in 2018 that I played. But number 3 on the list is another Brick Breaker game, and this one is DX Ball 2, a 20th anniversary edition made especially for Steam. Now, this is a game that came out way back in the late 1990s. It was available on like Windows XP. I remember playing DX Ball 2 myself, and they have done a fine job of moving this Brick Breaker onto Steam and kind of, increasing the performance, upping the graphics quality, and giving you a lot of options. And as you see in the title, I said playing with balls has never been such a pleasure. Now, this game in my scoring did score the same as Brickfest at 95%, but of the 2 games, Brickfest and DX Ball 2, I believe that Brickfest edges DX Ball 2 out. It's both unique, it's a new game, and I believe it's a better game. It's kind of more up to times, if you would, and I believe when you play both games, the quality is easier felt with Brickfest. So definitely check out Brickfest, my number 3 list, as we've already talked about. That means we have a number 2 and a number 1 still to call out, and we only have 2 games left on my list. Surprisingly, guys, both of these games, the newest games or the last games that I reviewed in 2018 that made my Zaxtor's Indigo, both scored a whopping 99% on my scoring chart when I graded them based on value, fun, controls and bugs, and graphics and sound. Both of these games are winners, but it just happens that they fell into this exact order right here. Super Grower is a game I really like. It comes in at under $2. And let's go ahead and take a look at Super Grower now and why it made number 2 on my best indie games of 2018 list. All right, so here we are launching Super Grower. It's made by Nanning's Games. And when we launch the game, we see that we have the ability to turn music on or off, the sounds on or off. We have some more settings we can come in here and take a look at, like the resolution, turn window on or off, and we can even increase the speed with the gamepad. This is a game I would highly recommend playing with a mouse because that's all you need is your mouse to play it. So I would definitely not play with a gamepad. I think playing with a mouse is much easier. I love the music selection for Super Grower here. And when we go in here to level mode, we can choose one of 40 different levels and we can progress through these levels. And I want to go ahead and show you how these work. So you start as this little white box. You move just by moving your mouse around. Now, all you got to do, the goal of the game is to grow bigger or big enough to turn the enemies green, and then you can eat them. So imagine you being like a fish or something that is looking, you're always hungry. So how you grow is to eat what I call these little Doritos, little yellow blips that appear on your screen one at a time. And when you eat one, you will grow. Notice that the enemies shooting at me are red right now. That's because I have not gotten big enough to eat one of them. So I want to dodge all these bullets, eat the Dorito, as I call it, or the little yellow blip, the food, and you'll see that both of them have turned green. Even though you can control your, yourself with the mouse and move super fast, it is not easy. So once you hit that, once you eat that first Dorito, as I call it, they will start shooting at you. So be careful. So trying to dodge all these things and have a hand-eye coordination and try to, maneuver and keep from getting hit is where the fun's at. And this game is so simple, yet it is brilliant. It is just a fine game. The only problem I have with the game, guys, is the name. For whatever reason, I don't like the name Super Grower. I think they could have thought of a much better name for this game. Like, I would have kind of said something like bigger is better or size matters or something like that. I thought that would have been, like a much catchier name than Super Grower. But for whatever reason, they chose Super Grower. It doesn't matter what the name is. This game is a blast to play, and it will have you playing it again and again and again. And to be able to score a game like this for under $2, is just it's a find. This is a game I highly recommend. Definitely makes my must-buy recommendation. I think everybody out there should try Super Grower, and I think when you do, you will love it. You'll be playing again and again and again. And again, just another game that shows you it may be 2019 now, but graphics matter so little that we have a game here that you play with squares and diamonds and circles, and it is just super fun. You're going to be playing this game again and again and again, and that's the reason that Super Grower made my number 2 game, my number 2 selection as best indie budget game for 2018. Definitely check this game out as well. I want to go ahead and show you as well. You can go through those levels like I showed you. And another thing that's a lot of fun as well is coming in here and going to endless mode. This is a blast as well if you just don't want to go through the levels. You come in here, you can look at your rank, you can try to compete for the best score on Steam. And again, it's the same kind of thing where you're going to be gobbling up these little yellow, rectangles as I call them. And you're going to try to be going as long as you can before you die. But as you can see, this one's a little bit different. I got to avoid all these blue boxes here until I get big enough to eat them. And obviously I'm trying to talk right now, so I'm not really concentrating on the game. But man, notice as well, I am growing as I eat these things. And oh, I got killed right there. But guys, I can't overemphasize how much fun this game is. It's one of those games that probably doesn't look like that much fun to play, but once you start moving this thing around and trying to gobble up those Doritos, as I call them, and eat everything on the screen to proceed to the next level, you're going to be having a blast. There's a reason that this game made my number 2 list for 2018. It's just a great game. It's super simple, but super brilliant. Super Grower is a winner. And that leaves the last game that I played, well, not the last game that I played in 2018, but the last game that made my Zaxtor's Indie Gold selection in 2018. And this is a game where the developer actually sent me an email and welcomed me to play a game called Super Volley Blast by email. He sent me a Steam key. I want to thank the developer for doing that, because I never would have found this gem had he not reached out to me and sent me a key to his game. And this is a game that's ironically is a game that I had thought about a couple of months prior when my daughter was playing volleyball. And I was thinking, I haven't played a volleyball game since like the 1980s. I remember Kings of the Beach back in my Commodore 64. And I was like, I'm surprised that nobody's made like a volleyball game on Steam. Well, ironically, there were a couple of volleyball games that came out in, I believe, November of 2018. And Super Volley Blast was one of them. I did play the other volleyball game. I believe it's a budget game that came in at around $2. I didn't like it near as well, even though the price was a lot less than the $10 price tag for Super Volley Blast. I just really like Super Volley Blast a lot more. Now, when I first played this game, my son and I both grabbed a controller, and this game is a blast to play, with local players. It does not have online support, sadly, but that would be, an awesome, maybe something they could do later on as an addition. But still, this game got a 99%. And the reason is, guys, is because you can go into a quick match. Here you can set up to 4 local players playing against each other. Anybody that isn't playing with you, including if you want to play yourself, you can just set everybody up as a CPU. Here you can choose all these different characters to choose from. There are 4 pages of characters. And you even have characters like Volley Woman, who looks exactly like Spider-Man. And some of these characters you will win by going into the tournaments and defeating and winning. Like if you go into these tournaments and you play and you win, you'll win all kinds of new characters as well. But if you want to go in and create your own character, you can do that with Super Volley Blast. An avatar editor allows you to go in and control pretty much every aspect of your avatar. What I like to do is just come here to random and get something close that I sort of like, and kind of do that. You can also pick a male or a female at the top. So if I wanted to be a female, I could come in here, I could do everything separately, or I could just hit the random button until I find something that I kind of like. And when you do that, you can also come over here and you can name your character whatever you want as well. But this game has a story mode where you can go in and you can create a character and you can jump in and play, through different chapters of a story and proceed with a very interesting, very fun story. And you would just have to play it. Definitely check out my video on Super Volley Blast if you guys want to know more. Or better yet, you do have 2 hours of game time to refund a game. Spend the $9.99, guys. Support this developer for making my #1 selection for the best indie budget game of 2018 on Steam. A game you probably haven't seen on any other videos or heard of even. Super Volley Blast is indeed a blast. It has a tutorial, it has options, it has different challenges that you can go through, leveling up and showing you all different kinds of skills. This is a game that's really simple, but as you play it, you're going to get better at like spiking the ball, controlling where you hit the ball, jumping up. You can spike balls, you can set balls up to your teammate. There is a 3 hit per limit on each side of the net. Super Volley Blast is a winner, guys. It scored a 99% when I scored it, and definitely deserving of that score. I believe since this came out in late November, or since I played it in late November, it came out in November, but I didn't even start playing it until late December. And since that time, guys, I already have like almost 10 hours in this game. It is just that much of a blast. It is a super fun game. Super Volley Blast, check out my video on the link below if you want to check out more coverage of this game. And definitely check it out on Steam as well. My #1 best indie game selection of 2018. This game is a winner. Now I will be back tomorrow with my worst 3 indie games on Steam in 2018. So be sure you check out that video as well, which will show you the most disgusting, most vile pieces of garbage that launched on Steam, in my opinion, in the whole year of 2018. And while there were 13 games that made this list for 2018 on Zaxtor's Indie Gold, I believe there were nearly 30 games that made my Miss series, maggot-infested, stinky shit games. So definitely check that video out to find the worst of the worst in 2018. If you're interested in that, be sure you comment down below. Let me know if you guys agree with my selections for budget indie games in 2018. And if you guys think you have a better game that came out in 2018 on Steam, definitely comment that down below. I would love to read that and know. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This has been Zaxtor99. Take care.